Okay, good morning everyone.
Good morning, sir.
So, kindly please stand for our opening prayer and Ms. Vina Grace, kindly lead the prayer. Okay, please be seated. So, do we have any absent for today?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, before we proceed to our discussion, can somebody please recall the last discussion we had? Miss Palita?
So our next discussion is about the Catcher in the Rye, which it is the narration of 16-year-old boy Kunano Kabayan past Christmas.
Okay, thank you. So we will be first having an activity. So what we are going to do, by the way, I have here a cap with papers inside, and each paper corresponds to your name. So the lucky student to be picked will be the one to answer the task. So what you're going to do is to arrange the jumbo letter. So I'll just take one paper here. Okay, Miss Alipin. First, so here is the jumbled letter.
Uncle Tom.
So let's see if it's correct. Oh, yes, it's correct. Uncle Tom. So next one. So Miss Vina Mostasesa.
Simon Legri.
So let's find out if it's correct. Okay, Simon Legri. Next, we have here Kunanan.
Eva.
Now let's find out if it's Eva. Okay, correct. Next one, we have here Palita.
Sambo.
Okay, let's find out if it's correct. Alright. So next one. So Miss Vina Grace. Okay, let's find out again. So Kimbo. So thank you for your participation. So we would like to ask if who do you think those characters are? Kunanan?
Those characters I think is included in our topic today, sir.
So, okay, correct. So before we proceed to our discussion, before we proceed to the novel that we're going to discuss today, we'll first be having the unlocking of difficulties, learning vocabulary. So here are the words with the vowel steadfast and use course. So here are the definitions. So number one, Kunanan, please read and answer.
To give information to someone. Divulge.
Okay, correct. Divulge. To give information to someone. Number two, Miss Palita.
To make someone do something by using force or threats.
Whipped. So, wrong. The correct answer is forced. To make someone do something by using force. From the word ERC, force, force. So, number three, Ms. Binang, successive ang answer.
To hit a person or animal quickly or forcefully. Whipped.
Okay, correct. So the correct answer is whipped. To hit a person or animal quickly or forcefully. So number four, Binang is Bina Grace.
Very devoted or loyal to a person or being. Steadfast.
Okay, the correct answer is steadfast. A very devoted or loyal to a person or belief, and etc. So number five, obviously it is induce. To cause someone or something to deeply affected. So let's now proceed to our discussion for this afternoon. So what we're going to discuss is Uncle Tom's Cabin. So before that, let us know who is the author of this novel. So Harriet Elizabeth Beecher Stowe was born on June 14, 1811, and died on last July 1, 1896. She was an American author and abolitionist. She came from the religious Beecher family and became best known for her novel, Uncle Tom's Cabin in 1852, which depicts the harsh condition experienced by enslaved African Americans. So, Uncle Tom's Cabin. So, Uncle Tom's Cabin tells the story of Uncle Tom, an enslaved person depicted as saintly and dignified, noble, and steadfast in his beliefs. So, I will present here the summary of the novel, so just listen carefully because later I will be asking questions. So, Uncle Tom, an enslaved person depicted as saintly and dignified. So, he is saintly, kumbaga, masibaho niya, ang sinasabi nga saintly or good and kind. So, undignified, noble, and steadfast in his beliefs, while being transported by boat to auction in New Orleans, Tom saves the life of a little angel, Eva, an angelic and forgiving young girl whose grateful father then purchased Tom. Eva and Tom soon became great friends. Always frail, Eva's health begins to decline rapidly, and on her deathbed, she asked her father to free all his enslaved people. So, i-ask niya, ano yung father na i-free ang mga enslaved yung mga people. So, he makes plan to do so, but is then killed. And the brutal Simon Legree, Tom's new owner. So, Simon Legree is the father of Eva. So, Tom's new owner has Tom whipped to death. So, Tom was whipped to death by Simon Legree after he refuses to divulge the whereabouts of certain escaped slaves. So, Simon Legree, asked niya ni Tom kung hain na niya mga enslaved person. And then, patay niya because nag-refuse pagyakay ni Tom kung hain ang niya mga enslaved person or escaped slaves. So, Tom maintains a steadfastly Christian attitude toward his own suffering, and so induced Tom's death with echoes of Christ. So, ginpilit niya sa Simon Legree na pakayanan ni Tom kung hain ang mga escaped slaves. So, Simon Legree is the principal villain. So, when we say villain, it is a character in the story who does bad things. So, Simon Legree is a bad person. Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So he is the principal villain in the story. Represents greed and brutality. A man who chose sin over reform. So mas piling niya ang magpakasasala kaysa magbaguhan niya kinabuhi. So Legree forces enslaved person into different roles in his life. So adun mga tao nga magpapasurgo na iya i-force ng ano iya karebuhaton iya life. So a woman named Cassie is forced to live with him. So when Legree buys Tom, he also buys a 15-year-old. Kung magyan yung 15-year-old, ang mga tao, hindi mo na nila mga mula, yung papalit nila that time. Ay nga, kung ano na nga novel. So, that 15-year-old girl was named Emmeline, whom he intends to keep as a replacement for Cassie. So, kung nawala ni Cassie, madali niya, Emmeline. So, through punishment and reward, Legree turns Kimbo and Sambo into his companions and enforces. So the two men are coerced into beating others enslaved people at the Legree's command. So any nga ti Kimbo ni Sambo, asya insurgoon ni Simon Legree pagkuhan ni mga enslaved person. Pag ginkakamanghiran ni Simon Legree kung ano tira bubahabang natuhan ang mga tao. So it is Kimbo and Sambo who whipped Tom to his death as Tom lay. So, not literally Simon Legree nagbuhat pagpatay kan Tom. But ato nga iya mga surugoon ni Simon Legree, Kimbo and Sambo kasya niya ginsugo to whip Tom to death. So as Tom lay dying, they express remorse and shame. Tom forgives them before he dies. So, before namatay, forgive niya, or in fact, because surugoon lang yan ni, at ito nga rin mga person, hihina to, Sambo and Kimbo. So, yan yung sugo nga patayon ito. So, that's all with the novel, the summary. Actually, it is there are 45 chapters, but I only present you the summary of the novel. So, I hope you've listened. I have here questions, only a few questions. So, first question is, what is the story all about? Okay, Miss Vina Grace.
The story is all about slavery.
Okay, the story is all about slavery. Next question. Who are the characters in the story Uncle Tom's Cabin? Okay, Miss Palinta.
So the characters are Simon Legree, Uncle Tom, Eva, Kimbo, and Sambu.
Okay, correct. So don't forget with those characters, Simon Legree, Tom, Kimbo, and so many more. So next, the third question is, who is Uncle Tom in the story? Okay, Miss Monte.
So he was an enslaved person who is saintly, noble, and steadfast in his belief.
Okay, correct. So the fourth question, why does Simon Legree whip Tom to death? Anyone would like to answer? Okay, Miss Vina Gracie Harris.
Because Tom refused to divulge the whereabouts of certain escaped slaves.
So yes, Yagin,
Patay.
Patay, Yagin Patay, and kay Tom. Okay, because nag-refuse si Tom pagyatang kunhain ng mga enslaved person. So the last question is, what is the major theme of the story or the novel Uncle Tom's Cabin? Anyone would like to answer? Ms. Johnson?
The major theme in Uncle Tom's Cabin is the problem of slavery and the treatment of human as property.
Okay, correct. So the major theme of this story of the novel Uncle Tom's Cabin is the problems of slavery and the treatment of humans as their property. So thank you. It seems like you have listened with my discussion. So you are able to answer with my queries or questions. So let us now proceed to our next activity. So the class will be divided into two groups. So please count off 1 to 2.
1,
2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
So group 1 you will stay here and group 2 will stay here. So group 1 will present a role play about slavery. Group 2 will present a picture freeze or tableau about slavery and say something about your presentation. Okay, I will just give you 3 minutes. Okay, thank you for your cooperation. It seems like you have really understand our discussion for today. So we have here our quiz. So direction. In a 1/2 sheet of yellow pad paper, write the major theme of the novel Uncle Tom's Cabin. Or have it in a band paper na lang. Okay, are you all done?
yes sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then please your papers. Okay, so that's all for today. I hope you've learned something. So the class is now dismissed.
Thank you sir.